Hey, it's me, just a guy with a pickup truck, a dog named Ripley, and a knack for fixing chicken coops. I live on the edge of a sleepy little town where the gravel roads crunch under your boots and the birds chirp like they're auditioning for a nature documentary. My place isn't fancy. Think weathered fence posts and a porch that creaks when the wind's feeling chatty. But it's mine. And then there's the gate. Oh, that gate. It's just a rusty metal thing swinging on hinges. But it's about to become the star of a story I'll never shut up about. Life was good that Monday morning. Coffee was brewing. Ripley was sniffing the fence line like he's the neighborhood's unpaid security. And I was knee-deep in replacing some splintered boards on the coop. The sun was out. The air smelled like pine. And I figured it'd be another quiet day. Then I saw her, Karen, marching down the road like she owned it. Oversized sunglasses perched on her nose, clipboard in hand. She looked like an anime villain who'd just been told her HOA dues were late. I didn't pay her much mind at first. We've all got that one neighbor, right? The kind who'd measure your grass with a ruler if they could. But then she beelined for my gate, and I knew something was up. See, that gate's not just a gate. It's on my property, sure, but it's also the only way to a patch of gravel hiding something big. An emergency water valve. Buried 10 feet down, it's the town's backup supply. Installed after the 2017, floods turned Main Street into a swamp. I helped design it, even signed the county contracts. So when I saw Karen pull a shiny silver padlock from her purse, I dropped my hammer and jogged over, dust kicking up behind me. Hey, I called, trying to keep it cool. Did you just lock my gate? She didn't even turn around. That's when I knew this wasn't going to be a quick chat over the fence. Karen snapped that padlock shut like she was planting a flag on Everest. She spun on her heel, gave me that teacher-who-never-study smile, and said, "Yes, I did. Per HOA Ordinance 14B, no unapproved front-facing structures may remain unlocked." I blinked. "Karen," I said, already regretting using her name, "this isn't a front-facing structure. It's a private access gate on a private easement." She adjusted her sunglasses like I'd just denied gravity. "That's what you think," she chirped, "but it's visible from the community trail. It's an eyesore. I've submitted multiple complaints and taken the liberty of securing it myself." I stared at her, utterly baffled. "You submitted complaints about my gate?" She nodded, proud as punch. 3, all unaddressed, so I acted. I could have yanked that lock off right then. Bolt cutters were in the shed. Or I could have hooked my ATV to it and made it a 5-second job. But I didn't. Not because Karen scared me. She's got the muscle mass of a broomstick and the legal clout of a yard gnome. But because I knew what was under that gravel. That valve? It's the fire department's lifeline during fire season. 3 summers in a row, they've rolled up to it, hoses ready. And now it was padlocked shut because my gate clashed with the neighborhood's visual consistency. Her words, not mine. I tried reasoning. "Karen, this gate's tied to the town's emergency water supply. You can't just lock it." She smirked, already typing on her phone. "I've documented your non-compliance," she said, like she was narrating her own superhero origin story. I looked at the lock, then back at her, and thought, this woman's going to get someone killed over a $5 hardware store special. But I let it slide for now. I figured she'd get bored, or I'd call the county later. Worst case, I'd snip it off myself. What I didn't expect was her next move. Karen didn't just lock the gate and leave. Oh no, she unfolded a folding lawn chair, straight out of a picnic catalog, plopped it down on her side of the property line, and sat there like a sentry guarding a castle. She had a bottle of kombucha in one hand, and that smug grin plastered on her face. For 4 hours, she glared at anyone who came near. The Amazon delivery guy rolled up, looking confused, and she waved him off like he was trespassing. "Use the back alley entrance," she shouted. There is no back alley. I watched from my porch, half stunned, half amused, as he drove off, package undelivered. By sunset, the temperature hit 103 degrees Fahrenheit. The local news was flashing fire warnings, dry brush, high winds, the works. I debated calling the fire department to give them a heads up about the gate, but I figured Karen would lose interest by morning. Ripley kept pacing, sensing something off, and I couldn't shake the orange glow I saw creeping over the ridge that night. Lightning had struck 4 miles east, and dry brush went up like gasoline-soaked confetti. I flipped on my phone, checked the fire map. Wind was pushing it west, straight for us. Within 30 minutes, sirens were screaming down the community trail, headed for my gate. I grabbed my boots and sprinted out, hoping someone had bolt cutters. Nope. There was Karen, still camped out, now in a bathrobe with a stemless wine glass, looking like she was at a spa retreat. A firefighter leapt from the truck, ran to the gate, and yelled, "We need access to the valve now." Karen didn't budge. "This is private property," she said, sipping her wine. "I can't allow entry without HOA clearance." The firefighter blinked. I blinked. Everyone blinked. "Ma'am," he said, voice tight, "that water access is an emergency infrastructure asset. You're obstructing state response." She waved him off like he was a fly. "Then bring paperwork." I didn't wait for paperwork. I jogged to my shed, grabbed a chain, hooked it to the lock, tied the other into my truck, and floored it. The metal snapped with a ping that echoed like victory. The gate flew open, and the fire truck rolled in, hoses unfurling. Karen shrieked something about lawsuits, but nobody cared. A firefighter tossed her a warning pamphlet and told her to sit down. They tapped the valve, water gushed, and the fire was contained in hours. One house in the foothills still burned, too far for the delayed crews to reach. That stung, but it could have been the whole damn town. I stood there, watching the fire truck refill its tank from that valve, the same one Karen tried to claim as her aesthetic turf. That sentence, "If I hadn't ripped the lock off with my truck, our whole town might have burned down," started looping in my head. It still does. Karen vanished into the night, probably to draft more complaints, but I hung that busted lock on my porch with a sign. Warning, may cause wildfires. The next day, I gave a statement to some tense county officials. They weren't happy. Neither was I, but I had a feeling this was just the opening act. The day after the fire, I walked into Rosie's Cafe, expecting a quiet coffee. Nope. The place went silent. Forks midair, kids frozen on stools. Rosie set her coffee pot down like it had insulted her. "You the guy with the gate?" someone yelled. I nodded, sheepish. Yeah, didn't think locking it would turn into a town scandal. An older woman crossed her arms. Wouldn't have been if that woman hadn't padlocked our water supply. My brother's house nearly went up. Rosie leaned in. "Karen filed a complaint against you this morning. Said you damaged HOA property. Sheriff tossed in the trash, but thought you should know." Laughter rippled. A guy in overalls whispered, "She's calling herself waterfront coordinator. Told my wife she could inspect our garden hose." I sat down, more amused than mad. "She's been busy, huh?" Busy was an understatement. She'd sent violation notices for hedges, lawn chairs, even a kid's basketball hoop, all in 3 months. But the fire flipped a switch. People were pissed, and the town council called an emergency meeting. Councilman Devers rang me personally. "You know what that gate's for," he said. "We need you to set the record straight before she spins this with glitter and passive-aggressive signs." I showed up to town hall in a clean shirt, blueprints rolled up, and a folder of contract from 2017. The room was packed, people on the floor, in the hall, everywhere. Karen sat front row, white pantsuit pristine, clipboard ready. Mayor Schultz kicked it off. "What happened at Gate E17? I laid the blueprint out. It's not just a gate. It's the only route to the reserve water main under Ridge View, codified in the emergency plan, tied to the fire department's GPS." Karen raised her hand. "I thought it was private property, subject to HOA aesthetic rules." The mayor sighed. "After Mr. Miller." I turned to her. "It is my property, and it's a federally designated emergency corridor, overriding HOA nonsense." Gasps. Someone muttered, "Federal? Seriously?" Devers piled on. "Fire crews drove 17 miles around a mountain. One home burned. That's your harmony?" Karen's lips thinned. "No one told me." I dropped the bomb. "The county notified the HOA in 2018, signed emails, perpetual access agreed. Here's the proof." I handed it over. Her face paled. Then I added the 2021 upgrade report, federal grant, Homeland Security asset. Blocking it? Potential felony. The mayor cut her off as she sputtered. "Enough. We'll review liability." Applause erupted. Karen stormed out, floral tote in tow. I thought that'd be it. I was wrong. Next morning, my mailbox was stuffed, 4 HOA envelopes. Fines for demolition, $800. A cease and desist, accusations of unsafe precedent, and a summons to their conduct review panel. They were doubling down. I called Darren, my paralegal buddy. "Let me guess," he said. "Karen?" An hour later, we're in his office, papers everywhere. He flipped through her complaint, sipping from a mug that said, "I read contracts for fun." She's citing 1980s HOA code. Half this isn't enforceable. He pulled up the 2017 easement, perpetual access, no obstruction allowed. Then a FEMA map. My gate's a critical point. She committed a federal violation, he grinned. Then he showed me leaked HOA emails, Karen bragging. He can't prove it's federal. He'll cave. Another. Jenkins owes me. He'll rubber stamp it. I whistled. She's playing Game of Thrones with lawn chairs. We filed with the county and the infrastructure authority. The fire marshal called that night. This is state level now, obstruction during an emergency. Things were heating up. Part 8. Karen's last stand, 1,200 words. That night, Karen knocked on my door. No clipboard, just folders and a squinted smirk. "I'm here to discuss your behavior," she said. I leaned on the frame. "Karen, you're under investigation by 3 departments. I've got your emails." Her eyes twitched. She tossed a folder at my feet. HOA summons for Thursday. Refuse, and fines escalate. I laughed. Good timing. You're getting served that day. And shut the door. Next morning, county officials hit her house. She answered in a pink bathrobe, stunned. Then the HOA emailed everyone. Temporary easement suspension pending review. I called Darren. "Oh, hell no," he said. News vans rolled in. Channel 5, Channel 9, blasting her gate-locking stunt. Her live video flopped, claiming ignorance. A petition booted her from the board. 200 signatures in hours. The fire marshal's press conference sealed it. State breach of protocols. She was done. The HOA backpedaled. No fines, reimbursement for damages, and a smart lock installed. Mike, the new president, handed me the settlement. At a fire drill block party, they gave me a community safety guardian plaque. I joked, "Does it come with a siren?" Karen showed up, silent in sunglasses, then left. A week later, the HOA nominated me as safety liaison. I took it. Better to keep the Karens at bay. We added fire-safe landscaping and real protocols. Progress, no drama. That gate still stands. Smart lock blinking. A scratch from Karen's padlock marking the chaos. She's a ghost now. Dog walking, no committee. I helped build a second valve, road accessible, HOA free. At a county event, I said, "One lock can stop water. One voice can stop that lock. Speak up." They clapped. Life's normal again. Ripley patrols, I fix coops, and the town knows. One truck, one lock, one guy can save it all.